everybody, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I have an anime of the week. And it is a Netflix original, or at least it's a Netflix show that the second season was an original. Haven't reviewed the second season, this one's just a review of the first season, Tiger and Bunny. Now, this show has been on Netflix for a little bit, and every time I saw it, it looked stupid. I've gone on I've talked about this before in some of my other reviews. I've gone on this whole anime kick of just watching so much anime and different things of that nature. And Tiger and Bunny was on there. And I don't know why. I'm just browsing through Netflix as you do. You know, there's not much else to watch on there at the moment other than Ozark, and I haven't even watched it. And I'm kind of putting off watching Ozark. So one day I'll eventually give a full review of that since that show just wrapped up. But, there's nothing else to watch, really. So, I come across this show, Tiger and Bunny, and, the only reason I even thought about it is because it got greenlit for a season 2. And in my mind, I'm like, Netflix doesn't just greenlight shit for season 2. They might greenlight anything for a season 1, but they don't just greenlight stuff for a season 2. So I decided to give it a shot. And what I discovered is, this is a great show, Tiger and Bunny. Crazy. The name is misleading because when you hear Tiger and Bunny, you're just like, the fuck does that mean? And they are doing this weird thing with the animation that's sort of Kingen Shiryu, I always say that name wrong. It's sort of like that 3D. It's 2D and 3D because it's when the characters are just outside of their costumes, they're 2D. But when they are in their costumes, they're sort of 3D. And they kind of flip-flop between 2D and 3D, depending on what they want to do. It seems like when they want to do something really actiony, something really over the top, they kind of go to the 3D model, but when they're just talking and doing casual stuff, or even doing just light action, they stick to the 2D models. But yeah, it's a combination of 3D and 2D. In this story, Tiger and Bunny takes place in a world that it's not quite our world, because you never hear them actually say the name of cities and whatnot. So it's sort of a fictional world that's kind of like our world, because, people have cars and guns and, it's not that much different than us, other than it's just a different world. But it takes place in this huge city where in this world, superheroes are a big thing. Superheroes are a thing. They have the best description of this show is, it is a tad bit One Punch Man. It's a tad bit My Hero meets X-Men. Because the way that superheroes get their powers is very X-Men. Because the people who get their powers in this world, not just superheroes, but people who get powers in general in this world, are called Next. The next step, I believe, in evolution. You got the people that are called mutants, and, you got metas. In this world, they're called Next. Whatever. And and no one really knows where this came from. No one really knows why this happens to people. But different people across the world are just getting abilities. Particularly people in this massive city, are getting powers and abilities. And in this world, you have to get legalized to be a superhero. You can't just be a superhero in this world. You have to get legal representation to be a superhero. And in this world, superheroes aren't just heroes. Being a superhero in this world, it's like being a police officer who also happens to be one of the one of the top NFL quarterbacks in the world, or one of the top NBA players. You are an international star. You have sponsors. People know who you are around the world. Now, most of them, except for one of the main characters, have their identity secret as they do different things to hide it. Different makeups, different helmets, and whatnot to hide their identities. But so you do have a private life, but you are at you are pretty much at the whim of your sponsors, some of these corporations are backing these superheroes, and it is an interesting concept. I saw it played with in My Hero, and I can't remember another anime I saw it played with as well. The idea of superheroes having these agencies or these companies and whatnot behind them. I think that's a really cool concept. That's a really cool idea, and it's one of those things that would happen eventually. The way they play it up in this is that they have been superheroes for a while, like a very, very long time. So, like, because in Marvel and DC, the way it always feels like they play it is, there's like a 10-year window where all the stories are taking place. You know what I mean? It's either in the past, or if it's in the present, it doesn't go really much farther than like a 10-year nice little window. And then they reboot the whole thing because they don't want to go too far forward, you know, because then they would have to change so much. So they end up rebooting it and do it again. Same thing in Marvel, DC and Marvel, they do that. They don't really go too far into the future. So you don't really have that problem with superheroes like being so in abundance, or so, what's the word I'm looking for? Or just superheroes being so commonly around that they would need to get, like, that it would make sense for them to get involved with these corporations and organizations in order to pay for the damages and pay for these different things. Because that's really one of the things that's brought up, is like that's why most of these superheroes are with these corporations, because of the damages and whatnot caused by these, you know. But you got, like, I don't know, Elon Musk, you know, sponsoring a superhero, you know, and a building blows up, you'd be like, hey, Elon, I mean, I saved the day, I mean, stuff's going up, could you pay for that building that just blew up? I'm sorry, dude, I didn't blow it up, the supervillain blew it up, I don't know what the fuck happened. So I like that concept of these big wig, like, companies sponsoring. Could you imagine that? Like, fucking, like, you know, like, Superman is sponsored by, I don't know, Walmart. Or whatever, like Superman's sponsored by Amazon, so he's got like an Amazon sticker right on his fucking arm, like some shit like that, you know. And the thing is, like, it sounds ridiculous, but none of these heroes actually, well, for the most part, none of these heroes they're all in it for the right reasons, and the sponsorship thing is just to cover the damages and just to do this to make a living, so they can dedicate themselves. So that's one of the cool things too about doing this for a living and like getting paid to do this and having sponsors and shit, is these heroes can do this for a living. Like, this is like, they're like, it's more than just hero work. It's like, I am paying the bills doing this. And I think that's a really interesting aspect. Now, the story follows, obviously, it's called Tiger and Bunny. Main characters, Wild Tiger and Barnaby, aka Bunny. And Wild Tiger is, like, they're both co-leads of the show, but Wild Tiger is a bit more. Now, Tiger is like this, he's a veteran. He's been doing this for 10 years. He's a veteran hero, but, you know, he's on, not hard times, but he's on a slump. He's on a slump at the beginning of this show. You know, he's not quite as beloved as he used to be. And Tiger is just a heart on his sleeves guy. He's a great character. I love Tiger in this show. He's such a great character. He's a heart on his sleeves kind of guy. He's kind of a goofy dude as well. He shares a lot in common with like a Spike from Cowboy Bebop. He's like a slightly goofier, goofier Spike from Cowboy Bebop, because he's so calm, he's so nonchalant, but he wears his heart on his sleeves. He cares so much about other people. He's that character who cares and tries to do the right thing, but he's not the smartest guy. He doesn't think everything he's saying through. He doesn't think everything he's doing through. But when he has his moments of eureka, he really shines, and he's very good, and he gives these heartfelt, like, no matter what he says, no matter how stupid something he says, you know it comes from the heart, and you know he means it. So Tiger is awesome. I love Tiger. He also has a young daughter, so like he's kind of at this interesting point in his life. He's like he's having like a midlife crisis between being a superhero and just being with his daughter. You know, his wife passed away years ago, so, you know, and just being with his daughter and family, but like, he loves being a hero. He is totally in this, not for the money, not for the fame, but he's totally in this to help people, to save people. You believe, and at the beginning of the anime, you're not so sure, you know, everyone knows you're not so sure where they stand. Are they doing this for the fame? Are they doing this for the money? Are they doing this for this? But you know for a fact that Tiger is in this shit. He ain't in this shit for the thrills. He ain't in this shit for the money. Tiger is in this shit to save lives. He was inspired by a legendary hero years ago when he was a boy, and he wants to save lives. And unfortunately for Tiger, he's in a rough patch, and they partner him up with another hero, Barnaby, who also has the exact same superpowers Tiger has. Now, Tiger has this ability where all of his physical attributes, all of them, get times by 100. I believe it's even called 100ing or whatever they call his abilities, because all of his physical attributes, his speed, his strength, his agility, his hearing, all of it his healing, all of it gets bumped up 100%, like to a superhuman level. Problem is, he can only hold it for 5 minutes. He can't keep it up, but he can only hold it for 5 minutes, which clearly must be some kind of power, because him and Bunny, aka Barnaby, and his daughter, spoiler alert, has the same ability. So I don't know if this ability is just unique amongst them. But they team him up with this young kid, Barnaby. And Barnaby, he's handsome, he's young, he's smart, he's well educated. He's everything fucking Tiger isn't. Because Tiger's brash. Tiger, he's not the most smartest guy in the tool shed. He doesn't think things through. They're like the opposites. He's younger, he's older, he's smarter, he's not. He's all thought, he's all heart. Like, they're opposites. But, and they start off, as you would expect, just at each other's fucking throats. And it's funny. It is funny. You know, just to see Tiger's like, this fucking young kid think he's gonna just show me up. Just like that. There's a hilarious bit in the beginning. Like, because Tiger's organization, spoiler alert for the first episode, the people who were sponsoring Tiger got bought out by some other company. And like, Tiger's just like, what the fuck? Well, what does that mean for me? He's like, well, you got new bosses. And when he goes in to meet his new boss, man, his new boss damn near just take a shit on his front porch, man. His new boss is just like, oh, it's you. Yeah, you're going to be the new kid's sidekick, and you're going to teach him the ropes, and hopefully you don't fuck this up. And for a guy who like maybe 5 years ago was like a leading man, because there's this weird thing they do, because like the entire show also, which is weird, is being broadcast. Everything these heroes do is being broadcast by this like superhero network. That while at the beginning it felt kind of fucked up that these heroes had to like, you know, like these cameras were following these heroes whenever they go into action and whatnot, and these TV show would pop up that would like rank the heroes on their performances. While it felt fucked up at first, when later on in the show, when things started to get really dicey, it's fucked up at first, but when things start to get really dicey and really urgent, and you realize like, okay, look, we're all here to save people. Like we can talk all the shit we want, we can talk about the damages, we can talk about, oh, let's make our ratings good, but we're here to save people. And even the TV show producers and whatnot of the show that follows these heroes around and ranks these heroes, you know, when shit gets serious, they get serious too. Which is something I love about the show, is the longer season 1 goes on, the more complex and dark it gets. Particularly with certain aspects, like you think certain ways about characters, but by the time, like, I say after like the 10th episode, which felt like a season finale, and then it just kept going, which was just like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, okay, so this is the end. Oh, still going. Oh, still going. Oh, there's still more episodes, which I'm not complaining about, because I love the show. I'm having a great time with it. I'm having a great time with this superhero world they've created, the complexities, and they always keep adding new wrinkles to this world, new wrinkles to the relationships between the characters. And like I said, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Bunny and Tiger, if you're a fan of superhero, not just anime, if you're a fan of superhero stuff, this might be a nice little treat. This might be a nice little treat if you're a fan of superhero. If you're a fan of anime and you're a fan of superhero stuff, this would be a nice little treat for you, because while it does have its anime tropes, obviously, a lot of it still seems pseudo-Japan, even though it's not Japan, but it's still kind of Japan, whatever. If you're a fan of superheroes and you're a fan of anime, this is a great show, dude. It captures a lot of what it means to be a superhero. There's some real cool action set pieces. There's some real cool booyah, like, yeah, set moments. Most of the characters are really great. Mostly Wild Tiger, who you spend an awful lot of time with, so that just maybe makes the show even better for me, because he's just such a good dude, and he has such a big heart. And he's that kind of dude who's just like, he's that dude whose only issue is he tries to take on too much, and he'll try to do it with a smile on his face to not let anyone know he's dealing with a lot of shit, because he's just like, he's like, I'm gonna be the one to save people. I'm gonna be the one to help people, and I'm gonna help people. And he's just such a cool dude. This is an awesome show. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Tiger and Bunny, at least season 1, I haven't seen season 2, but Tiger and Bunny, season 1, gets a 9 out of 10 from me. Loved it. Loved it. The name is off-putting, and once you start watching it and you start really getting into it, like, and I say, it's a show that gets better the longer you watch it, because while it kind of starts off kind of glassy, kind of like the longer it goes on, the darker and more complex it gets, which shocked me. I didn't see that coming. I was just like, okay, this is cool. This is a fun little show. But the longer it goes on, the darker and complex it gets, and the more you start going, whoa, this ain't what I thought it was. This is a really in-depth superhero world that is well thought out. I haven't I love that, dude. I love Invincible and The Boys and Jupiter's Legacy. Like, I love these ideas with these already formed superhero worlds. You know, One Punch Man, My Hero. I already spilled my piece about My Hero. I don't like the way they did their superhero. At least they set the world up, because I think it's just I've talked about that before. I'm not a big fan of that, but I love these. I'm loving these formed superhero worlds that feel lived in, because that's just awesome. That's one of the greatest things I loved about Invincible and The Boys, was I was like, these superhero worlds feel like they just feel lived in. Like I'm just dropping in, but like this shit's been going on. Seth, I can't remember what Seth described. Seth had a description for what was it? God damn it, what was that show based off of League of Legends? Man, I'm having a hard time remembering it, but whatever it was, Seth had a good description of that show when he said that it feels like a show that would be going even if I wasn't watching, or like it doesn't need me, like it's been going, like you know what I mean? Like the world feels like it's been going, and I'm just peeking in, like it's already been going. 'Cause some shows feel like, some movies and shows feel like all the best events in this world are just happening right in front of me, but other shows feel like, other movies and shows feel like I'm just dropping in and seeing a piece of this world. And that's what this show, Tiger and Bunny, does. Loved it. Thank you guys for joining the Comic Game Movie Show. Please comment below. Let me know. And remember, like, subscribe, comment below. Have you seen Tiger and Bunny on Netflix? If you haven't, give it a look out. If you're into anime and you're into superhero stuff, I can't imagine you not enjoying this show. Thank you guys again. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.